All right, let's start this off with something unexpected. Have you ever wondered what happens when some of Hollywood's biggest stars mix humor, personal stories, and just the right amount of chaos? Well, you're about to find out. Tonight, we're diving into some unforgettable moments, including Sharon Stone turning her engagement into a hilarious moment, Richard Pryor shocking us with his honesty, and wait for it, Halle making David Letterman blush. Trust me, you won't want to miss what happens next. Actress Shelley Winters sat beside someone, her brow furrowed slightly as she tried to place where she had seen them before. She smiled, her curiosity piqued as she leaned in and asked, "So where did you study acting?" Her tone was genuinely interested, as if she were trying to connect a few dots. "Oh, you coach acting, right?" she added, her smile widening as if remembering something else. The other person nodded and chuckled softly, clearly amused by her question. "Yes, I do," came the response, followed by, "And yes, she's a fantastic coach. I mean, really great at what she does." There was an unmistakable warmth in the tone of their voice, a clear respect for the person Shelley was talking about. Shelley tilted her head, her expression a mix of confusion and intrigue. "I know you from somewhere," she murmured, her eyes narrowing as if searching her memory. Her face brightened suddenly, like a light bulb had flicked on. "Wait, I've seen you in some incredible films. I just can't quite place which one's right now," she said, her voice trailing off with the admission that something was just on the tip of her tongue. The person beside her laughed, a rich, hearty sound that seemed to fill the space between them. "Well, maybe it was one we worked on together," they suggested casually, as if it were the most natural thing in the world. Shelley's eyes widened in recognition. "Oh, of course," she exclaimed, her expression filled with realization, though she still seemed slightly uncertain. "We did work together, didn't we?" She paused for a moment, staring thoughtfully into space, the pieces clicking together in her mind. The audience, watching this playful exchange, erupted into laughter, sensing the comedic yet endearing moment. Shelley, now clearly amused, let out a soft chuckle herself, her eyes sparkling. She leaned back a little and said, "I do have perfect recall, but just not for dates. I'm terrible with dates." She shrugged, the lightheartedness of the conversation making her seem more relatable. "But yes, we worked together. It was in a film called King of the Gypsies," she declared with a playful grin, as though she were finally putting the puzzle pieces in place. The person next to her brightened at the mention of the film, their face lighting up with recognition and fondness. "Of course, how could I have forgotten?" they said, their voice filled with warmth and admiration. "You were absolutely wonderful in it, truly unforgettable." The audience, caught up in the back and forth, burst into applause. There was an undeniable sense of nostalgia and camaraderie in the air, as if the shared memory had brought everyone into a quiet moment of appreciation for the talent and connection that had formed on screen. Shelley, smiling graciously, basked in the applause, clearly touched by the compliment. "Thank you," she said humbly, nodding in acknowledgement as the laughter and clapping subsided. "It really was such a special experience. I'm glad it made an impact." And with that, the light-hearted, humorous exchange turned into a moment of genuine warmth and mutual respect, not just between Shelley and her co-star, but between all who had shared in that unique, fleeting connection. Before we jump into today's topic, there's a small but important favor we need to ask of you. Lately, YouTube's algorithms haven't been recommending our videos as often, and it's been affecting our reach. If you could take a moment to leave a like and watch this video all the way through, it would mean the world to us. We truly believe it'll be worth your time, and your support helps more people discover our content. In fact, studies show that videos with higher engagement, like likes, comments, and watch time, are far more likely to be recommended by YouTube's algorithm, which can lead to better visibility and growth for the channel. Now let's move on to the next part, where the legendary Jennifer Tilly completely captivated the audience, and Conan O'Brien in particular. During their lively exchange, Jennifer had Conan in a playful chokehold, and the crowd couldn't get enough of the unexpected yet hilarious moment. Conan, ever the professional, immediately shifted gears to ease the tension. "Is this your microphone?" he asked, half amused and half surprised as he tried to make sense of the situation. The awkwardness in the air was palpable for a second, but Conan, being quick on his feet, immediately attempted to light. In the mood with a laugh. "Ah, don't do that," he said, hoping to defuse the moment. However, Jennifer wasn't fazed in the slightest. She responded with her signature, effortless charm. "I mean, I didn't have anything better to do, but I'm sure the rest of the crew did," she quipped, making light of the situation. Her delivery was perfect, and the audience erupted with laughter at her ability to keep things lighthearted. Conan, who has a knack for self-deprecating humor, couldn't resist continuing the playful back and forth. "Of course, I know they did," he said, his eyes twinkling with amusement. But Jennifer wasn't done yet. With a sly smile, she added, "I'm not looking at anything, just admiring your, fantastic dress." Conan, feigning shock, raised an eyebrow in mock disbelief. "Did you really see the Woody Allen movie?" he asked, eager to dive deeper into the conversation while keeping the humor rolling. "Yes, I did," Jennifer responded with a grin that lit up the room. "And when I say I liked it, I really mean it, unlike those people who say they liked something just to sound cultured. You know the ones I'm talking about." Her eyes twinkled mischievously, and the audience could feel the energy of her delivery. "Those bastards," she added, and Conan couldn't help but laugh along. "Yeah, I know," Conan replied, his chuckle infectious. It was clear that the chemistry between the two was both natural and entertaining. Their ability to feed off each other's energy made the exchange feel organic and effortless, a hallmark of the kind of spontaneous banter that late-night talk shows are known for. The back and forth, with its playful references to film culture and witty exchanges, created an engaging atmosphere that not only entertained, but also resonated with the audience. The conversation exemplified what makes talk show dynamics so captivating: the blending of humor, personality, and real-time engagement that keeps both the guests and the viewers involved. Conan and Jennifer's exchange also highlighted the cultural relevance of classic films and the humorous way in which people discuss movies, often referencing what's seen as highbrow or pretentious. The mention of Woody Allen's films sparked a wave of nostalgia among movie lovers, who likely recalled the critical conversations surrounding his works. Jennifer's remark about those who pretend to like films for appearances resonated with many, as it pointed out the common tendency in popular culture to love movies simply because they are considered prestigious or intellectual, a tendency that's often discussed in film circles. And of course, this conversation was a perfect example of the type of humor that thrives on talk shows: sharp, quick-witted, and perfectly timed. It not only entertained the studio audience, but also spoke to broader cultural trends in how we engage with media, adding an extra layer of depth to what might otherwise be a light-hearted exchange. Through this exchange, Jennifer Tilly and Conan O'Brien brought a dose of humor and reality to the screen, offering a bit of insight into the nature of celebrity and the way we consume and discuss films, all while delivering the kind of entertaining moment that late-night talk shows do best. "Are you in pain right now?" Conan asked, a slight pause hanging in the air as he studied Jennifer's expression. His curiosity was palpable, and the audience leaned in, eager for her response. Jennifer, always ready with a playful quip, flashed him a bright, teasing smile. "No, why do I look like I'm in pain?" she replied, her tone light, making it clear she wasn't fazed by the question in the slightest. She paused, her expression softening. "Actually, no. I'm quite relaxed," she added, taking the moment to enjoy the quiet of the conversation. "And I assume this is my water," she continued, glancing at the glass Conan had placed in front of her. "Thank you," she said, taking a sip. Her calmness contrasted with the frenetic energy of late-night talk shows, and the audience could feel the ease in her presence. Conan, a master of observation and humor, noticed the pendant Jennifer wore, which sparkled under the studio lights. He looked at it for a moment, nodding in appreciation. "That's nice," he remarked casually, taking in the simple elegance of her jewelry. "You have a lovely piece of jewelry there." It wasn't just an observation, it was a moment of recognition of her understated glamour. Jennifer, in her usual manner, acknowledged the compliment with a warm smile, making the conversation feel even more intimate and relaxed. As the conversation shifted, Conan, ever the storyteller, brought up Hollywood legends Joan Rivers and Betty White, two iconic women known for their sharp wit and humor. "I have to ask, though," Conan leaned in, intrigued. "You're on the cover of a publication, though it's not exactly a major one." Jennifer, with a glint of mischief in her eyes, shot back. "Well, for my dogs, it's actually quite a significant publication." She leaned into her wit, teasing her audience with a light-hearted response. "But for my career, it's still a good story nonetheless." The audience erupted in laughter, clearly enjoying her playful, candid approach. Her humor was both self-deprecating and clever, a reflection of her ability to stay grounded despite being in the spotlight for so long. Jennifer was no stranger to public scrutiny, having been in the entertainment industry for decades. Her career began with a breakthrough in the early 90s, landing roles in hit films like Bullets Over Broadway, 1994, which earned her an Academy Award nomination. Despite her success, she often used humor to disarm critics and deflect attention from her personal life, a skill she had perfected over the years. Jennifer, not one to shy away from humor, continued, adding, "It's funny, people wanted me to go topless for the shoot, but I said no." The audience chuckled, entertained by her candor. In a world where celebrities are often pushed into uncomfortable positions for the sake of publicity, Jennifer's comment reflected the pressure many celebrities face to meet certain expectations, particularly in photo shoots and public appearances. Conan, ever the provocateur, grinned mischievously. "Wait, were you topless?" he asked, leaning in with an exaggerated expression of curiosity. His tone was playful, as if to encourage more humor from Jennifer. Without skipping a beat, Jennifer responded with a sly smile. "I don't know, it's hard to tell," her words dripping with her signature charm. The audience exploded in laughter and applause, delighted by her quick wit and ability to keep the conversation both light-hearted and full of surprises. Jennifer's ability to effortlessly deflect and joke about topics like this has been part of her charm for years, dating back to her early days as a comedic actress. The back and forth between Jennifer and Conan continued to build, and the audience was fully engaged. Jennifer's next line was a perfect example of her humor and timing. "You know, if I wore a neck brace, my voice would come out more controlled because I wouldn't be moving my head too much." It was an absurd yet relatable thought, one that spoke to the idea of trying to control something as spontaneous and unpredictable as one's own voice. Conan, not missing a beat, quickly countered with his own witty remark. "But you see, everyone falls asleep when I don't talk really loudly." His delivery was impeccable, and the audience was once again swept up in the dynamic energy of the moment. Laughter filled the room, the kind that only happens when two skilled entertainers know exactly how to work off each other. According to a study by Nielsen, humor on late-night talk shows has a proven ability to engage audiences, particularly when the hosts and guests have genuine chemistry. The spontaneous exchanges between Conan and Jennifer fit this mold perfectly, demonstrating how organic humor can elevate the energy of a broadcast. Their banter wasn't just amusing. It served to strengthen the connection between the hosts and the audience, fostering a sense of inclusivity. The applause continued as Jennifer and Conan expertly navigated their playful conversation, with both of them feeding off each other's energy. Their ability to make light of even the most awkward situations spoke to their years of experience in front of the camera. The audience was clearly enjoying themselves, as laughter and clapping resonated throughout the studio. In this exchange, Jennifer Tilly not only entertained but also subtly commented on the pressures and expectations placed on celebrities. Whether discussing photo shoots or her quick comebacks, Jennifer's response was a reflection of the control she maintained over her public persona, always keeping the conversation fun, light, and most importantly, on her terms. The conversation took a fun turn as Lleier, known for her unabashed and no-filter humor, joined Conan on stage. From the moment she sat down, it was clear that her unrestrained personality was going to take center stage. Conan, ever the quick-witted host, noticed Heather fiddling with her outfit, an action that immediately caught his attention. "What are you doing there?" he asked, his curiosity piqued. Heather, slightly adjusting her clothes, started to respond, "Adjusting my..." But before she could finish, Conan, always ready to add a touch of humor, jumped in. "I thought you were taking your pants off." The audience erupted in laughter at the unexpected direction of the conversation. Heather, never one to shy away from a playful moment, laughed along with the crowd. With a wink and a mischievous smile, she replied, "Oh, I thought now we've got a show." Her comment was delivered with such ease that it made it even more humorous. Conan, enjoying the playful back and forth, immediately responded with mock seriousness. "No, you don't want me to do tha." As if he were stopping some kind of outlandish spectacle from happening. However, Heather, ever the comedian, wasn't going to let him off that easily. "Yes, I do," she teased, her voice dripping with playful challenge. "Not going to happen," Conan shot back, maintaining his smirk as he playfully shut down the idea. The crowd, completely captivated by the exchange, burst into another round of laughter. It was clear that the chemistry between the two was off the charts, genuine, quick-witted, and effortless. As the playful teasing settled down, the conversation turned to more substantive topics, but the tone remained lighthearted. Conan took a moment to acknowledge Heather's success in television. "You've been fortunate in television," he remarked, giving a nod to Heather's career, which had spanned decades. Lleier had become a familiar face to many, appearing on a variety of shows, from comedic roles in The New Adventures of Old Christine to more dramatic parts in Picket Fences. Her versatility and undeniable charm made her a favorite among television audiences. In fact, Heather had been a steady presence on TV since the 1990s, with her breakout role being in the popular series Picket Fences, 1990–1996, which earned her a Golden Globe Award. Over the years, she had built a career that was not only successful, but also reflective of her ability to take on diverse roles across different genres. The ability to shift between comedy and drama is something many actors struggle with, but Heather had done so with ease, making her a true testament to the diverse talent within the industry. As they continued, Heather, always quick to lighten the mood, knocked on the wood of the table in front of her. Conan, ever the master of keeping things spontaneous, immediately jumped in with a playful remark. "That's not wood." It was a classic example of Conan's ability to turn even the smallest moment into an amusing exchange. "You might want to check again," he added, drawing laughter from the crowd, making the whole scenario feel like an inside joke between them and the audience. Their conversation continued to flow effortlessly between topics, from Heather's career achievements to personal anecdotes. According to Nielsen data, talk show hosts who can balance humor with meaningful dialogue tend to retain their audience's attention for longer periods of time. And it was clear that Conan and Heather had mastered this balance. The exchange, full of playful jabs and witty remarks, kept the audience engaged, laughing, and eagerly awaiting what would happen next. This kind of genuine chemistry, where both hosts and guests feed off each other's energy, is a hallmark of successful late-night television. A study by Pew Research Center found that late-night talk shows, particularly those with a natural dynamic between the host and guest, are among the most consistently popular television formats. This type of interaction is what makes talk shows so enduring. They provide entertainment while simultaneously allowing the audience to feel like they are part of a private, inside joke. Whether it was teasing Heather about her outfit or celebrating her long-standing career in television, the conversation between Heather and Conan was a perfect example of the kind of entertainment that late-night TV is known for. Their effortless rapport, full of clever exchanges and subtle references, made it clear why their dynamic was so enjoyable for the audience. It wasn't just about the jokes or the laughs. It was about the authenticity that shone through in every moment. By the end of their exchange, the crowd was still buzzing with laughter, fully engaged in the chemistry between Conan and Heather. Their back and forth had not only entertained, but had also shown just how much of an impact genuine connection and spontaneity can have on a live audience. The dynamic between them was truly something special, demonstrating the power of unscripted, organic humor. Sharon Stone, freshly engaged, didn't let her exciting news stop her from having some playful fun with David Letterman. Her appearance on The Late Show was a testament to her charm and wit, traits that had made her one of Hollywood's most beloved stars. Letterman, with his signature curiosity and humor, wasted no time in diving into the personal details, asking, "First of all, congratulations. Are you married or just engaged?" Sharon, always quick with a comeback, responded with a laugh, "I'm engaged. And yes, it makes me feel different. My days of senseless pining for you are over," she teased, sending the audience into a fit of laughter. Sharon's response wasn't just playful, it reflected her ability to stay grounded and approachable despite her fame. She had a way of making even the most high-profile moments feel like a casual conversation. This type of playful interaction wasn't new for Sharon. She was well known for her sharp wit, which had earned her recognition in films like Basic Ins, Tinkt 1992, and Casino 1995, the latter earning her a Golden Globe Award and an Academy Award nomination. Sharon's ability to balance humor with her star power made her a favorite not only among critics, but also with audiences. She had been a fixture in Hollywood since the early 90s, known for roles that showcased both her acting talent and her presence as a leading woman in the industry. In fact, Sharon Stone was once ranked by Entertainment Weekly as one of the 50 most beautiful people in the world. Despite her glamour, she kept her public persona light and fun, often using humor to engage with her fans and the media. As the conversation continued, Sharon's playful banter with Letterman set the tone for the rest of the interview. It was clear that Sharon had mastered the art of using humor to diffuse the pressure that came with public scrutiny. Her ability to embrace her celebrity status while keeping it fun and real was something that has resonated with audiences for years. A study from Nielsen found that humor, particularly self-deprecating humor, plays a significant role in audience engagement during television interviews. Sharon's playful quip about her engagement showcased the kind of relatable celebrity persona that fans have come to adore, which also ties into why she remained a popular figure throughout her career. The conversation soon took a more personal turn as Halle joined the discussion, bringing with her a fresh wave of energy. Halle, recently married, was as candid as ever when Letterman asked, "How long have you been married?" "1 year, January 1st, 199, she replied, giving a specific date with confidence. Halle's openness about her personal life, including her marriage to baseball player David Justice, reflected a level of comfort with her public image. At the time, Halle was one of the highest-paid actresses in Hollywood, known for her roles in Monsters Ball, 2001, which earned her an Academy Award for Best Actress, the first African-American woman to win in that category. Halle's success in both her professional and personal life at the time was indicative of how far she had come in an industry where it's often difficult to maintain both. Letterman's follow-up question, "How's that working out?" received a simple but effective response from Halle. "It's great. It's a good combination." Halle's tone was casual, but the message was clear. She was comfortable in her own skin and in her marriage. In fact, research from Pew Research Center has shown that public figures who maintain a balance between their professional and personal lives often gain a higher level of respect from audiences, as fans appreciate the authenticity and transparency. Halle's ability to balance fame and personal happiness made her a role model for many, especially given her high-profile career and public persona. The light-hearted yet insightful conversation continued to captivate the audience as it unfolded, a perfect example of how talk shows excel when they allow for unscripted moments and candid exchanges. Letterman's interactions with both Sharon and Halle were a reminder of why late-night television remains so effective at maintaining audience interest. A study by Nielsen Media Research found that 63% of American adults still tune into late-night talk shows, citing the unpredictability of the content as one of the main reasons for their continued popularity. These types of unpredictable, spontaneous moments, such as Sharon's playful flirtations and Halle's candid answers, are what keep viewers engaged and invested in the personalities behind the performances. As the evening went on, the energy in the studio never waned. From wardrobe mishaps to awkwardly funny anecdotes, the conversation kept everyone laughing, a clear indication of the organic chemistry between Letterman and his guests. These moments were a big part of what made The Late Show so popular. It wasn't just about the interviews or celebrity gossip. It was about the connection between host and guest, the way they played off each other, and the way they made even uncomfortable moments feel like part of the fun. The guest stories weren't just entertaining. They highlighted the public personas of two of Hollywood's most talented women. Sharon Stone's effortless charm and Halle Berry's candidness both provided a sense of realism and relatability in an industry often defined by its illusions. These qualities are what made their moments on The Late Show truly memorable. In conclusion, the night was filled with humor, lighthearted teasing, and genuine moments of connection that highlighted why late-night television continues to captivate audiences around the world. The exchanges between Sharon, Halle, and Letterman served as a perfect example of the magic that happens when talented individuals come together to share a laugh and a few personal stories. From unexpected moments to candid conversations, the show's success hinged on these unscripted gems, making it a night to remember. Terry Garr, always known for her sharp wit, made a quick and hilarious remark about wardrobe malfunctions that had the entire room in stitches. As the conversation lightened up with her comedic timing, Letterman couldn't help but crack up, his infectious laughter adding to the atmosphere. It was one of those moments where the audience could feel the spontaneity of live television and the humorous unpredictability that comes with it. Terry, ever the professional, effortlessly turned an ordinary conversation into a moment of pure comedy. This was a hallmark of her charm, able to transform the smallest details into comedic gold. Her ability to weave humor into casual exchanges was one of the reasons she became such a beloved figure in Hollywood. Shortly after, Dorothy F. Time, with a reminiscent smile, began recounting tales from the olden days, providing a window into a bygone era in Hollywood. Her nostalgia-filled stories painted a picture of a different time in the industry, one that resonated with the audience, many of whom had followed her career through the decades. But it was Richard Pryor's raw, unfiltered honesty that truly grabbed the attention of the studio audience. Known for his biting wit and ability to turn the hardest truths into moments of deep reflection, Pryor didn't shy away from sharing his personal experiences. His candidness took the audience by surprise, combining humor with moments of insight and making them laugh while simultaneously giving them something to think about. Richard Pryor had always been able to cut through the surface of societal expectations, challenging norms while still managing to bring the house down with laughter. As the night progressed, the pace remained brisk, and Leno continued his friendly banter with Sandra, turning the spotlight onto their shared love for basketball. "Are you a basketball fan?" Jay asked, clearly interested in Sandra's response. "A huge fan," Sandra replied, her enthusiasm shining through. Her excitement was palpable as she leaned in, eager to share more. "I'm actually friends with Shaquille O'Neal," she revealed, her smile infectious and her voice filled with genuine admiration for the basketball legend. The mention of Shaq's name immediately sparked a wave of excitement, as he had become one of the most famous players in the NBA, known not only for his prowess on the court, but also for his larger-than-life personality. Jay, ever the playful host, quickly seized the opportunity to add a humorous twist to the conversation. "Oh, really? Friends with Shaq? So does that mean you know all about his shoes?" he asked, making a light-hearted jab at the fact that Shaquille O'Neal was also a well-known figure in the sneaker world, having his own line of signature shoes. Sandra, fully in on the joke, responded with a grin. "Well, yes, I do know a thing or two about his shoes." The audience erupted in laughter as they imagined the interaction between Sandra and the giant of the NBA. The comedic rhythm of the night never faltered as the conversation flowed seamlessly between humorous anecdotes and light-hearted moments. The interactions between the guests were filled with playful teasing, candid confessions, and hilarious observations. Letterman's skill in turning casual conversations into gold was on full display. The show followed the well-worn formula of late-night television, entertainment through unpredictability and humor, but Letterman's ability to draw out these moments, creating genuine connections with his guests, set the show apart. From funny jabs about wardrobe malfunctions to candid stories about celebrity friendships, the show delivered on its promise to entertain. The evening was an effortless blend of humor, heart, and authenticity. As the night wore on, the boundaries between reality and comedy blurred in the most delightful way. It wasn't just a talk show. It was a celebration of the unplanned, the unexpected, and the real. The spontaneity of the conversations, coupled with the comedic timing of the guests, ensured that the audience remained engaged from start to finish. These moments were more than just jokes. They reflected the authentic personalities of the guests, who weren't afraid to share their quirks, their stories, and their humor. For the audience, it was a perfect evening of entertainment that showcased the charm of live talk shows and the magic that happens when personalities collide in an unscripted space. The unpredictability and laughter made the show a true testament to the power of human connection, humor, and shared experiences. We're wrapping things up soon, but trust me, you won't want to miss the last story. So if you haven't yet, hit that notification bell so you don't miss the final surprise that will have you talking for days. And remember, sharing this video with your friends helps the channel grow so we can bring you more legendary moments like this.